Hey everyone, we are back live, and I'm going to bring Tamar in here to talk about co-parenting, specifically two topics to discuss. Co-parenting, dating someone with an adult child, so 18 and over. And I'm having a tough time typing while I'm talking. And children, when you're dating them, let's see if you can join Tamar. There you are.
Hi, yay!
You're coming up.
Finally.
You made it.
I don't know what's going
Glad
on.
to see you.
Glad to see you too. My Instagram stuff is really, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, happy Wednesday.
Get the blue check mark. You have better support.
I thought I had the blue check mark, but I don't know.
Do you?
I don't have any idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Let's check that after the call. Yeah, so we have a couple good topics today. I think one was dating someone with an adult child, and is it the other one? I understood is gift giving. Does that make sense?
It was someone who hasn't met the kids yet, but she's starting to give small gifts to the kids through their father.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's tackle that one first, because I'd like it at that point. I would really kind of set a boundary on, hey, if it's time for me to give them gifts, it's probably time for me to meet them, I think. I mean, that's running through my thought process. I'd like to give those gifts to the kids myself, that sort of thing. And I assume they must be dating for a little bit of time and must be comfortable with each other if there's gifts that the kids deserve already. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first thing that I would say is let me meet the kids. Like, I want to give these gifts to them right now. What do you think?
Well, okay, so her question came in and I actually responded to her directly because I was curious and it was right then. So I got a little more information. They have not been dating that long and they're like very small gifts. Like she had a birthday party for her own child and she had extra, little gift bags and she gave them to the kids. And so just really like minor things. So she didn't think it was that big of a deal. But my thinking on that is don't do it, because you're either ready to meet the kids or you're not. There's no reason to be giving small gifts to the children before you're there. It's confusing and it's weird. And then mom or dad has to come up with oh, my friend so-and-so or someone from work or whatever it is and downplay who you are. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't set you up for anything positive, I don't think. I also feel like as a parent who's dating, if someone I'm dating and I haven't been with them for that long starts giving me gifts to give to my child before I'm ready for them to meet my child, I'm going to stop dating them.
I 1000% agree. Like, I would just say, I was looking at it from a different perspective, and I totally agree with you. Just like, if it's time to give gifts, you either meet the kids or don't, right? That's basically what
absolutely.
I was saying.
No, you're absolutely right. And you just didn't have all the information, so which is good.
Yeah.
With our questions, we don't always have all the information, so these questions are general.
Yeah, that's a good talk. Like, and there's where you set that boundary or set that expectation. Like, hey, if one of you thinks it's time to meet the kids and one doesn't, then it might be time to move on.
Right.
From the relationship.
It's also, or it's time to have the conversation, because that's the other thing is if you're starting to give gifts, no one has met anyone, you don't know the proper way to go about this. This is time to sit down with the person you're dating and communicate, because that's what this is all about, right? Communicate and make sure everyone's on the same page, and maybe you have a timeline or a level of comfort, because you're forcing someone into a position. Like if someone gave me a gift for my child and we weren't there yet, now I'm in a position where I either have to let that person go, uncomfortably tell them I'm sorry, I'm not giving this to my child, or lie that I gave it to my child, or give it to my child with some story about where it came from. All of it is uncomfortable and unnecessary. So it's time to sit down with the person that you're dating and just say, hey, I have these things, do you want them for your child? Maybe it's time we meet. How do you feel? Where are we in this relationship?
Yeah, that's a good talk and great points. It's really the communication piece. And if you don't agree, I think it might be a sign where the relationship might need to move a different direction too. But through that communication, though, I mean, there you can come up with an agreement or something. Hey, maybe it's not time yet. Let's figure out where we are
Right.
first and have that discussion. I'm not saying not meeting the kids is a deal breaker. I'm just saying, if you can't agree on something and things start to get weird like
Yeah.
that, like you're putting pressure on someone to like, I want to meet the kids, so here's a gift.
Yeah.
I want you to give them to them. That's very pressure filled. It's
Yeah.
like it might be a little manipulative, like with the intention of, hey, I want to get in with the kids, like,
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Absolutely. That's how I
So
read
that's
it.
kind of what I was
That's
thinking.
how I read it as
Yeah.
well. And so, yeah, so you have the conversation with the person you're dating, and maybe your intentions weren't that, and it was totally innocent. You didn't even consider it because you give gifts to friends' kids all the time and you're a gift giver, whatever. But so now you have that conversation with the person you're dating, and now you have an idea of how they feel about it and what their timeline might be. And so now you have the information, right, as to whether it is time for you to move on, if you're pushing too hard, or maybe you're like, oh, sorry, like I did not realize that that was a boundary. I wasn't even thinking. So now I will think, and yes, we have another 4 months or whatever we have until we go there.
Yeah, it can end up totally
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like, oh, I didn't even think
Yeah.
of that. Like, communicate about it and move on with the relationship with more mutual understanding, and maybe you get closer.
Right.
So that's cool
Yeah.
too.
Right. It's all good. It's all, yeah.
Yeah. So adult kids, huh? I've never experienced this, but I can only imagine that space is crucial with adult children, kids over 18. We're talking maybe kids in college or maybe already even in the workforce. I think a lot of space is necessary for that sort of circumstance. Hmm, what do you think
Oh, I
about
thought it
that?
was an
That's just
interesting question because, in all honesty, I
yeah.
also have a younger child, and I've dated people with teenagers, and I understand like that dynamic is difficult. But you're talking about adult children, so now I'm wondering, like, why are we not to say that this person isn't still a dad, but like that is that still part of their daily life? Like, are the kids around? Like, why are we talking about them as if we're dating, a day-to-day father kind of a thing? So I would like more information from this person. Are the adult children living with this person? Like, is that why? Because otherwise, I would think, and maybe this is naive of me, and you can tell me or other people can tell us, but I would think it's kind of a non-issue. Like, you're just not around when they're hanging out with their adult children, at least for now. They're adults. But maybe I'm wrong here because maybe those adult children are more in their lives than I realize.
Yeah, and that's why the first word I thought of was
Mm-hmm.
space. Like, just focus on the relationship that you're building with that person, and if things are going well, you'll meet the adult child
Right.
anyway, and if things aren't,
Right.
it is what it is. You know, um, be interested in what the adult child's doing, and that'd be a good conversation topic. But really, just focus on the relationship because. Um,
Yeah.
I completely lost it
Yeah.
when my phone froze.
But you,
But that's why I think space
yeah.
space is
Yeah.
important. Just
Yeah.
focus on the
Yeah.
relationship is
Yeah.
really the key, and that's kind of a
I would
blessing
think so
too.
too. Now, the only thing that I will say is that if it's a freshly divorced person, adult children actually can have a lot of struggles with divorce, almost more so than younger children. So that is something to think about. If this person hasn't been divorced that long, or maybe they're widowed or whatever it is, but if it hasn't been that long, you kind of want to also read the room, the temperature in the room. Are the kids going to be ready to have someone new in their lives? Like, you know, think about it and talk about it. Like you said, get information, give space, and talk to the person you're dating. Like, do you think your kids will want to meet me or not? Be prepared because they might not actually be interested in you, and adult children can be kind of venomous. So just be a little bit careful to when you do kind of meet them. You don't want to insert yourself in the family right away or assume that because they're adults, they're mature enough to handle the fact that their father or mother is dating.
Yeah, and so what's difficult with adult children, I learned, is the fact that, maybe, and this came from my certified divorce specialist training, is that adult children have it difficult because they feel like they have to take
Mm-hmm.
sides. And then sometimes parents even vent to their adult children and tell them things that they shouldn't be a part of about the relationship. And that can really add a lot of stress in an adult child. So you're right. They might not want to be involved in the fact that, and they might help, you might even be a secret, like for real.
Right.
So,
Right. You got to go
I mean,
in however it is, however you can, if that works for you.
yeah. So at that point, that's why I would just say space and focus on the relationship. And if the adult child, comes around, or you meet them, good, good. If you don't, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because now we're all adults and we can make our own adult decisions.
Right.
So,
What happens in that relationship, and I'll be curious if this person would follow up with us. I'd be curious. I think what happens in that relationship really depends on the dad. In this scenario, it's a dad who has adult children, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, or the dad or the mom,
I don't remember.
whatever parent
Yeah.
it is that that you're dating, if it's a dad or a mom, whatever. I think what happens here really depends on that person, because it depends on their relationship with their adult children, how mature it is, how much communication there is, and what's happening there. So yeah, otherwise you don't have to be involved with adult children really at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you do. It's up to the kids. We're all adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I'd start with a lot of space for sure, and just kind of feel it out.
Agreed.
So that's
Okay.
about it though. I am at my ex-wife's house because my son is sick today. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, my daughter was sick, and now my son's sick with a tummy bug. So that's what I'm doing
But how
today.
lovely that you can be there and be the parent at your ex-wife's house, taking care of them while I assume she's at work. Is that, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she's at
great.
work, and I'm blessed to be able to
Yeah,
see the kids today.
you have a
So
flexible
I get to
schedule.
go to I get to go to a school event for my daughter too in a little bit. So that's
That's
exciting.
wonderful. See, co-parents, things can happen.
Yep, just focus on parenting. That's all you need
That's
to
right. All right, Darren, well, good luck, and I hope you don't get sick and have fun.
Appreciate it, Tamar. I'm gonna try to stay as healthy as I
Okay,
can.
we'll talk next week. Bye.
Bye.